Hello, welcome to Vinyasa Yoga. My name is Monica. I'll be your yoga instructor today. I tried to put a playlist in the live chat, but I don't know if it worked. So you could use it if it's showing up for you. If not, you could put on any music that sounds good or no music. Silence. You can practice in silence with me. Although I'm not very quiet, I'll be talking a lot. And yeah, all we need is some space to do yoga, and we'll make some space within and in the body, okay? So let's start in standing, unless you feel like laying down or sitting down. And find a good lighting situation, create a cozy environment. Maybe you could do like yoga in the dark, you could do dim, candles, whatever you're feeling. So standing and closing your eyes, finding your mountain pose. So with mountain pose, your palms are facing forward, your shoulders are back, and there's not really a right or wrong situation here. I just want you to just tune in, kind of scan the body for kind of where your energy level is at and kind of what your needs are. So you might be seeking out this yoga practice for some peacefulness, for some mindfulness. Maybe you are trying to get more flexible or stronger. There's no right or wrong goal here. And I just want you to search within. Where is that place of love where your goal is coming from? So whether it's a physical goal or a mental goal, is it coming from kind of a place of self-love, and how can you make it come from that place where you're honoring your body through the yoga practice? So just reflecting on that for a moment. And then bringing your hands to your heart together. And whatever that self-loving intention for your movement today is, breathe that in and out. And make a little vow to yourself to stick with the yoga practice today, even when you get bored or tired, and to make it your own. Do whatever feels good. All right. Little chin to chest, stretching the back of your neck, and then reaching the arms up above your head. Inhale, exhale, palms come together at the heart, closing your eyes or keeping a soft gaze forward. Inhale, reach up, spread open and wide. And exhale, hands come down. 2 more times with your own breath. Expand. And bring it down. Expand. And bring it down. Good. Taking it wide. So if you want to turn, you can just be on your carpet or hardwood or whatever, or you could turn sideways on your mat. And I want you to reach out nice and wide, making a star shape with the body. Kind of lifting the palms, basking in the moment. And then reach the right fingertips towards the left toes. Bend the knees if you want, reaching up with the left arm, reaching back up. And then left fingertips to right toes. We're just warming up gently here. This is kind of like a cartoon or like PE stretch where you kind of like, you're reaching toward one side and then reaching toward the other side. Just kind of fun. Be a little windmill here. Just go as far as this feels good. 2 more on each side. Slowing your breath down. Last one. Reach it up, and then you can walk or hop the feet together. All right, coming down to the mat by reaching the arms up, and then exhaling to fold down. Bend the knees generously, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, long spine, shoulders back, looking down. Exhale, fold, plant the hands, and step or hop back to a plank or knee plank. Okay, so in your plank or knee plank, you're creating a straight line from the wrists down to, or from the shoulders down to the ankles. And then keeping your elbows really close in towards your body. When you lower, come onto your tiptoes and lower. Nice and controlled all the way down. Untucking the toes. Inhale, baby cobra, lift the hands, look down, use the back muscles here and the glutes. Exhale, lower. Inhale, baby cobra or high cobra, pressing into the hands. Exhaling down. And then baby cobra or high cobra or upward dog, pressing into the tops of the feet, lifting the hips and knees off of the mat. Exhaling it down, and then making your way back, maybe through all fours first, and towards downward dog. All right, our first downward dog. So pedaling the feet out if it feels good. And this isn't for everybody's wrists, so there are a couple options. You can come down onto your forearms for dolphin if downward dog doesn't feel good on your wrists. You also could always take child's pose whenever you get tired of downward dog. There's no right or wrong today, no shaming yourself what you feel like doing or can and can't do. Spread the fingers wide in 10 different directions here, pressing down at the base of the thumb and index finger. Lift the right leg up towards the sky. 3-legged dog. Feel your muscles firing up. And then bending the knee, bringing it in towards the chest, hovering up for a moment, and then quietly, gently placing the right foot onto the mat, coming into a runner's lunge. May I reiterate that everything in this class is optional. Anything that you want to hold longer or skip, that is yours. I want you to make this exactly what you need today. And from here, we're going to reach up, high lunge. So the arms are reaching up towards the ceiling. You're really sending energy up through the fingers. And thinking about the right knee and it pointing the same direction as the toes. It's really common to let the knee fall in, but I want you to use your glutes to keep the knee pointing forward. I'm sure you're doing great. I can't see you, but I can feel it. All right, bring the arms alongside the body. Breathing here. Kind of like a mountain pose posture with the hands, palms forward. And then we're going to step it forward to mountain pose. So as seamlessly, as gracefully as you can, a controlled step up. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, forward fold, soft knees. Inhale, halfway. And exhale, fold. Plant the hands, step back to plank or knee plank. And then coming up onto the toes, controlled lowering down halfway or all the way. Inhaling for one of the back bends we just did. And exhaling to downward facing dog. Remind yourself of your intention and why you're here. and just let go of everything in the practice so far. Just sticking with the moment, sticking with your breath, enjoying the sensations, the movements. Lifting the left leg up, three-legged dog, and then bringing the knee in towards the chest. Very gently, quietly, slowly place the left foot behind the left wrist, setting up your runner's lunge here. And then coming up to a high lunge. Now, whenever we're in these standing postures, you always could drop the back knee if you want to take it lower to the ground. Reaching the arms up towards the sky. Thinking about that left knee pointing forward. Find your breath here. Find your foundation. Really powering through the glutes to stabilize you here. Even your abdominals too, pulling in. All right, palms come down by your sides, shining the chest forward. And then very controlled, gracefully bringing the right foot towards mountain pose. Good. Maybe swinging side to side here a little bit, kind of rolling out the ankles. And then reaching the arms up, inhale. And exhale, forward fold. Taking a ragdoll if it feels good to you. So that would be grabbing one elbow with one hand and vice versa. And then maybe swing side to side. Stick with it. You are doing awesome. And we'll bring the hands down, coming to a halfway lift, long spine, looking down. Exhaling, forward fold, stepping or hopping back to your chaturanga. All right, and then lowering halfway or all the way down to the ground, lifting up for a back bend, whatever's comfortable for your spine. Coming back down and making your way to a child's pose or downward dog. So there's lots of variations of child's pose you could take. Maybe you're in this deep knee bend, or maybe you want to keep the hips a little bit higher up and get more of a shoulder opener. And you could change whether your knees are angled out or more in. Experiment with what your favorite version is. Find your breath here, find your zen. Try to connect with just this moment now, nothing else. Just what does it feel like to allow your body to breathe, to allow it to stretch and find stillness? What does it feel like to make this connection of your body with the floor? For your lungs to expand against your legs. And then coming back up to all fours. And then making your way to a downward dog. Optional vinyasa if you want to take a couple yoga push-ups, or you can just stick here with me. All right, finding some stillness just for a couple breaths here, really spreading the fingers wide. Pressing down to the heels, using your deep breathing. And then walk, step, or hop up towards the hands, coming to a forward fold, exhale. Inhale, reverse swan dive up, sweeping the arms out to the side, reaching up. And exhaling the hands coming down to the heart. Beautiful. Just time for some simple balance. You know me, I love working on balanced postures, and I always remind people that this is more a practice of perseverance and positive self-talk, because balance it's hard and you'll lose your balance. It's just such a beautiful metaphor for life. So let's just dig into it. So coming into the left foot here, and there's a difference between kind of shifting your body and going into that hip versus shifting over, turning on your gluteus medius, not letting the hip drop. You're staying very steady and then lifting the right knee, okay? So instead of here, you're here, okay? So finding your balance on your left leg. And then if this is a challenge, you might just kind of touch down, come back to it. And then if you'd like to take a tree pose, you could put the foot on the inside of the calf or thigh, or you could take a half lotus pose, kind of opening the foot towards the front. So those are your two options. This isn't for everybody's knee or hip situation. This is just if that feels right in your body. So wherever you are, there's a soft bend in your left knee, and maybe you find your hands at your heart. You could always reach arms above the head. Or something fun with half lotus, if it feels okay for your shoulder, you could wrap the right arm behind the back and reach towards the right foot. Yeah, you're a pretzel here. So maybe this is where you go, maybe not, okay? Or maybe you just kind of keep the hand behind the back if you can't quite reach. This is not for everybody's shoulder, so just kind of survey your body and what you need here. Breathe. Maybe close your eyes if you're feeling not very challenged. Great. Find the pose if you lose it again. Remember, positive self-talk. All right, when you're ready, we'll kind of release whatever you have going on, very slowly, gently, lovingly placing the right foot down and kind of shaking it off a little bit. So putting weight into the right foot now. So remember, hips stay level. Instead of this, you're turning the glute muscles on and then lifting the left knee. And then you decide, are you going to kind of kickstand it? Put the foot on the inside of the calf or thigh, or maybe you find a half lotus on this side where you kind of open the foot like a book. Maybe palms come together or reaching up. Remember that micro bend in your right knee so it's not locked. And then maybe you take kind of a bind. You know, my left shoulder and left hip don't go as far on this side. So just kind of figuring out what your body wants to do here and finding your balanced posture. And then just coming back to it whenever you lose it. Finding your breath, remembering your focus, your intention. You can do this. When you're ready, we'll slowly, gently, with love, set everything back down and kind of shake it out a little bit here. Maybe roll the head around a little bit. Whatever stretch feels good here. And then we're going to come to our forward fold. So reaching the arms up, inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Feeling the stretch in the backs of the legs. So bending the knees as generously as it feels good, or maybe coming to straighter legs if that feels okay for your back. Halfway lift, long spine. Exhale to fold, plant the hands and step back to a downward dog. Option to take a vinyasa here in which you would inhale, come to plank or knee plank. Exhale to lower halfway or all the way. Inhale for a back bend of your choice. And exhaling back to downward facing dog. And then slowly, gently, with control, bringing the knees down and then shifting your way back to child's pose, reconnecting, kind of coming into this little cocoon. Closing the eyes, finding your breath, your focus on the present moment. Letting go of the practice so far and just feeling the sensations of the body, the connection with the floor, your body being breathed. Okay, so the next pose will just be our one wild card. So if you feel like you're interested in headstand or you already know how to do it, stick with me. We're gonna walk you through the basic steps, or you could go on your own. If headstand is like, no, not in my repertoire, not interested, then this is your time to freestyle for like 2 minutes. Maybe you do a pigeon pose, a dancer pose, whatever you feel like sounds just really good right now, now's your time to do it. So freestyle or headstand with me. Shout out to Megan, who this is inspired by. So for your headstand, there are a couple different ways to do it. There is the tripod setup with your head and your hands. I feel like that's a lot of pressure on the head. So I like to teach, it's called first headstand. So you interlace the fingers and you bring the forehead line, the hairline to the ground, and you have the fingers on the crown of your head and you roll the crown of your head into your fingers. I'm just showing you closer and then I'll show you on the ground, okay? The idea is that you're putting more weight into your forearms and your arms rather than in your head and your neck, because we don't want to compress the cervical spine. Okay? So if you have a wall nearby, it's so much easier when there's just a wall right in front of you. So if you're a newbie, that's something you could try. Interlace everything except the, well, kind of the thumbs. You cross the thumbs over, okay? So you're kind of in this kneeling position. Forearms come down parallel to each other, elbows underneath the shoulders, interlacing the fingers. Forehead comes down towards the ground, and you roll the head into the hands. So if you really feel pressure on your head, you need to lock up your hands a little bit more and get your hands, your pinkies kind of supporting your head almost. So it kind of locks in when you roll the head into the hands, and you really keep that grasp. It should be locked there. And then once you find a good position there, maybe you just lift the knees and you stay here. If you have that wall nearby, you can experiment with bringing one knee up, maybe coming into a little egg. If you're someone who's a little bit more flexible, maybe you try to reach for the wall with one leg and then bring the other one up. So whether you're in the egg or the kind of splits version, you could just hang out there against the wall. Just get used to being upside down and don't stay there super long. And maybe you've been working on this a while and you kind of find yourself here. And there's a lot of different things you can do to play around. You could kind of bring the legs out to the side. And the nice thing is if you just lose your balance, you either somersault or just bring the legs down. You could bring your legs one way and the other. One more moment of kind of messing around here, whatever you're working on. All right, and then we'll all kind of make our way back to either sitting on your heels or crossing your legs and kind of survey the body, see how that made you feel. Maybe it bothered your neck a little bit, in which case maybe you don't want to do it again ever, or oh, maybe I need to work on my posture a little bit. Or if you didn't quite get there, it takes a long time to learn different yoga poses, so snaps to you for trying it. Okay, so let's take a little bit of kind of a decompression here of the neck. So we're going to bring the chin down, stretching the back of the neck for a moment. And then rolling the right ear to the right shoulder. And rolling the left ear to the left shoulder. And then turning on the abdominals, lifting the arms, and then really reaching the shoulders up towards your ears. This is a way to decompress the spine. And then bringing the arms back down. Okay. So from here, I want you to bring the legs out to kind of a straddle position. So you're like a wide sit. So maybe you come out to the width of the yoga mat, or maybe here. And then I always like to talk about, maybe you bend the knees a little bit to make this more accessible. If you feel like you can't quite sit up straight, just bend the knees, okay? And then from here, if you don't feel a stretch yet, maybe you begin to hinge at the hips and kind of come forward and stretch forward. So you're there, or maybe you're kind of like here. And it doesn't have to be that dramatic of a bend in the knees. The purpose here is to hinge at the hips and give the hamstrings a stretch. What happens when you bend the back a little bit too much is the low back gets more of a stretch than the hamstrings. They like to compete. And the low back typically doesn't really need to be stretched. The hamstrings are more important. Breathing in and out. Maybe closing your eyes to really notice the sensations and feel the stretch, enjoy. Going to that point of gentle tension. Coming back up. Bending the legs and bringing the feet in. So we're kind of in this little hugging the knees in towards the body, okay? So I want you, if your neck can move this way, I want you to kind of bring your forehead in towards your knees, where your knees are kind of on your temples, and where you feel like you can just rest here. Notice what it feels like to just kind of surround yourself here. And then coming up, kind of reversing that by bringing the arms to a cactus, turning on your abdominals, really drawing your shoulder blades back behind you, slightly tucking the chin, finding the perfect posture. And then relaxing that down, grabbing behind the legs, coming to a boat pose, just rocking beyond the sacrum here, maybe letting go of the legs. Straightening the right leg, then left leg, and then slowly lowering yourself down towards the ground, okay? Reaching the arms up above the head, then drawing the knees in towards the chest, hugging them in, rocking side to side. And then optional happy baby here, grabbing the outside edge of the right foot and the left foot with the hands. And then you bring the knees in towards the armpits and lift the bottoms of the feet to face the ceiling. So typically with happy baby, you should feel a stretch of the inner thighs. If you feel like your low back is really off the ground here, try to work to flatten it. Maybe you need to kind of take some of that hip flexion away and maybe you grab onto behind the thighs instead of the feet. All right, and then maybe it feels good to rock side to side here. Sometimes it's fun to like completely fall over to one side and then the other. Your and my definition of fun might be very different. Okay, and then coming back to center, staying here, or if you want to try to take, I believe it is called bear pose, but please correct me if I'm wrong. You would grab the big toe with your pointer finger and your middle finger, and then you could bring the leg as straight as it wants to go on one or either side. And then again, maybe you kind of rock side to side here. So this is attainable. You can have your knees bent, so either is fine. If this feels okay on your back and your legs. All right, and then bringing it back to center, hugging the knees in, and then rolling the feet one way and the other. And then bringing the feet down towards the ground. And then any final postures, positioning, stretching you need to do here before we find some stillness. Please stay with me on this. This is the best part, just wrapping the practice up with really just relaxing the whole system so you feel really good. So maybe you want to stay here with the knees bent. Maybe you want the knees to fall out or the legs could go straight. Sometimes it feels good to put your legs up a wall. So up to you. And then closing the eyes, letting the body just kind of find complete stillness here. Allowing your eyeballs to fall deep into their sockets. Releasing the tongue away from the roof of your mouth and unclenching the jaw. Noticing the color and or texture behind your eyelids. Noticing the tension you're still holding in your body, whether it be the neck, the hands, the glutes, the abs, the legs. Just try to let everything go here. Give yourself permission to completely relax. And then options, if you find it comforting, you can cover the eyes, maybe with the arms, kind of bending the arms over the head. If that's comfortable. You also could bring the palms over the eyes without pressing down. Finding a little bit more darkness in this posture. Just noticing the stillness wash over your body. Allowing your body to melt into the ground and just becoming this moment. How can you become this moment? You breathing here, your heart beating, just taking it breath by breath, second by second, millisecond by millisecond, absorbing every sensation, every nuance. What does it really feel like to be here, experiencing this right now? And perhaps this is a question you can ask yourself outside of this practice. Next time you have a free moment somewhere, what does it feel like to be here now? Maybe you want to stay here a little bit longer and kind of experience this further. If you're ready to move away from your practice and move into your day, your evening, uncovering the eyes but keeping the eyes closed, bringing the hands to the heart, taking a deep breath in and out. And then taking your time to roll onto one side. And then eventually pressing yourself up to sitting, hopefully with your eyes still closed, if you can find where you're going. Bringing the hands to the heart, bowing your chin to your chest. And remembering that this is kind of who you are. This is this kind of state of calm, peace. This is a big part of you that you can always access. And the more you kind of flex this muscle of experiencing the moment and slowing down, the easier it'll become in a myriad of situations. Thank you. Thank your body, thank your mind, thank your environment, and thank your yoga community for being a part of this awesome practice today. I really appreciate you coming and joining, and I hope to see you very soon. Thank you. Bye.